Hi, my name is Luger. I'm a 14-year-old trans guy from America, and what's going on here is I'm pretty sure it's some form of mass hysteria like we saw in COVID, and this is Jesus. And, just people going insane. And why are people going insane? Oh, it's America. It's now America. It's big old moldy oranges, America. Meow, 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 meow. Yes, you exist. Okay. Scratching my knee. And so it's a mass hysteria right now. That's why people aren't fighting back. That's why the people in MAGA, we saw mass hysteria in 2020. Shifting, leaving you to go into different realities, people picking up different disorders that they didn't have. And it's, ow. It's, yeah, America is, okay, I'm just gonna start off here. I am 14 years old. I've never learned to love a country. Never learned to love this country or any other country. I don't know. And I've only learned to yearn for another country. I've not learned anything else. My 7th grade teacher, she was wonderful. She was my French teacher. She would teach us about other countries and stuff, which was our only real thing. And that would be that. She would teach us about other countries that spoke French. She would teach us about Europe and stuff like that. She was a great teacher. I was in the advanced class. That's my foot, Jesus. Ouch. But she would teach us about these other countries, and she would give us the stats on them, on their education level, and their education level, how happy the country was. And she would always talk about how other countries in Europe would have higher education systems than us, be smarter countries than us. She would always say that we were, number 27 or something, with a disappointed tone, because she was disappointed, because she wasn't from America. She was from Cameroon, however you pronounce that, or if that's a real place. I forgot. It's somewhere in Africa, but I'm pretty sure, I don't know her story, but I'm pretty sure she came to Cameroon she came to America to find a better place. And then after what, she's been in here a long time, but after what, how many years, she's seen it turn into this. She's seen it turn into the land of the free to this. And let me clarify that it was never the land of the free. Because founded on slavery, after we abolished that, there was segregation, and now we have this. And sure, there was probably a few years where we could say we were the land of the free, but depends on how pale you were. Land of the free for whites. Black people it was always hard. Arab people, after 9/11 that took a hit. Haha. But if you're Hispanic, it's not looking too good right now. I apologize to every single one of you, even though I'd have nothing to do with it. I just feel obligated to, because holy shit. Oh my god. And so it was never the land of the free. America's never been the land of the free. You can't. That's my shoelace. But it's never been the land of the free. And let me tell you something. I see all the adults talking here or everywhere about education and all that stuff. And I'm from the Bible Belt. How am I from the Bible Belt, you say? Well, I'm in northern Georgia, just south of the Blue Ridge region. How I can prove it, I'm in the Bible Belt. There's the town square. In the square, there's a street called Church Street because there's 5 churches on that street. Another part of the mass hysteria is religion, because religion is a coping mechanism. You know, the blind man leads you in the dark, and if you continue getting the blind man to lead you in the light of day, that kind of, it's not the best idea. But the reason the religion part of the mass hysteria thing is, that's what Trump's using. That's his big card, is that he's the second coming of Jesus, I guess. Or is it the third coming, because he was resurrected? I'm not Christian. As you can see, I'm not Christian, but yeah, I just got out of middle school. I'm about to go to 9th grade, and so, what was there? Education's declining. Empathy's declining. Bullying is increasing. And I have a weird situation going on where I live, because I live in the suburbs, and it's pretty diverse where I live because I live north of Atlanta, but it's still the Bible Belt. But my middle school was like 70% black kids, and there's a certain victim complex going on there that I don't like. anything about. That school was, before I ever got called racist, I got called racist in song form. Someone sung about how racist I was. But I don't know why. These were just bullies that I've had to suffer for years that no one's done anything about, because the school administrators, there's a entire, with the white people, there was an entire going on with the we're scared to be racist, and with the black administrators, they're we're a community and we have to have each other's back. You have two things going on there. It's great that the black people have a community, but they need to realize what the hell they're standing for. And that's not something we can entirely try to change, or they can try to change or fix in times like this, because we really need community. That's another reason why it's different. It's a reason why there aren't many protests or revolutions going on, because there's no community within the majority of the population, which is white people. We've completely isolated ourselves, which is actually why a lot of white people will claim the 2% Native American, indigenous, the 2% Irish, the 30% German, the 40% Italian. That's why they're going to claim that, because we've isolated ourselves and refused to make our own culture. Well, we kind of technically do have a culture, because that's how that works. It's not something that we're supposed to be exactly proud of, because of the premises on what it's based on what it was built upon. And so white people are kind of just left with that. But yeah, I forgot what I was talking about earlier, but yeah, with the education stuff, I was in 2 honors classes and 2 on-level classes. Now, with the honors classes, with the on-level classes, I had requested to be in those classes because I simply didn't want to handle being in 4 honors classes. That wasn't for me. And I was in an on-level class for Georgia history. Maybe he was a teacher or something. He was he was Gen X, because he had a full head of white hair, just white, gray. Looked older than my dad, but he acted millennial. Don't even. Imitated. He imitated trying to be Gen Z, and it was. Number one, he didn't teach. What we do all day was play cahoots. That's all we would do. We would just play studying games. He took notes like 2 times a year, which was, gotta say, doing 20 cahoots a day does put it into your brain. Not in any way that matters, but keeps it there for a little while. Maybe. What are you doing? It's my backpack. But so, since it's Georgia history, we have to cover multiple parts of the history, and a lot of that part is racism. Well, they didn't cover racism, never mind. But slavery and segregation. We didn't really cover these at all. We did, like, for slavery, we did a unit, not even like a unit, we did like, I'm trying to remember here, but we did very little. We did like a small thing with the Civil War, then we moved on to segregation, but the segregation was only focused on the civil rights movement. Probably move back here. But just so everyone knows, slavery is only taught in, so far I'm learning that slavery is only taught in 4th or 5th grade. When you forget everything, you're not going to remember what they teach you there. Just being honest, you don't remember that. You're more likely to forget even if you do remember. It's just more likely to happen. And they teach you in 8th grade. This is not damn near enough information. And it's not good. And my dad is Gen X. And his girlfriend is Gen Z. She's 25. Consensual relationship, don't worry. He's 45, she's 25. They met at a yoga studio. She hit on him. Hope they get married soon. She's in the house right now, so. New mom. Woo. Better mom. But, so, we'll share experiences of what's happened between us, since I'm like the youngest of Gen Z and she's one of the oldest of Gen Z, and he's 45, so we have pretty mixed experience of what it's like to be alive. And so here are educations on slavery. Number 1, my dad says that they were made to think that it was their fault. That's what he said the teachers were doing, most likely because of the curriculum and how they were supposed to teach it. And for that, they need to dial it down. But I also don't believe that they were even given all of the facts of what happened, because all the that's my shoe. This is the destroyer. He has a broken tail, it's cute. But Gen X was likely not given any some of the factual statements of what happened there. And so that's my opinion on that. And for KB, she was apparently, out of the 3 of us, she was given the best education of slavery. The kids weren't made to believe that it was their fault, but they were taught. Again, they definitely weren't taught about how severe it was, how bad it was, how long it actually went on for. But, how are you going to teach a bunch of kids that? Seriously, oh my god. George Washington didn't have wooden teeth. wasn't wooden teeth. Gonna tell you that. It's great. Yay. That wasn't even like the worst of it, by the way. But, so, she was given the best. And apparently they were given like a decent sized unit. For me, probably, I don't even know how to categorize it, because Kimmy's definitely given the best. I'm pretty sure my dad's and me's are interchangeable, because while we're still awkward about it, because since it was an honors class, how it was separated in my school was typically on level classes, I was one of the only white kids in there. In my math class, I was the only white kid in there. My teacher would talk about how we were all colored kids and how we need to strive to be better. And I would just sit there and just like, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, this totally applies to me. But, so usually honors classes were filled with white kids. I feel like there's some stuff going on with the district, but I don't know. Maybe they were trying to group all the white kids in one class. Who knows what's going on there? Not me. I'm the 14-year-old. I'm just informing. Ow! I hate this guy. Oh. Ow. They're horrible. I hate them. Floor or my lap. Options. What are you doing? But so we weren't taught enough of slavery. We weren't taught actually anything at all. We were taught the bare minimum. I don't even think we even talked about Harriet Tubman. Well, everyone knew her because we did learn about her in 4th grade and stuff. We didn't know her. We didn't talk about anything she did. And as for segregation, we didn't talk about how bad it was, how long it went on. Ain't that just a blessing? Ooh, I'm chucking you. But back to education. It's shitty. It's bad. But about the children. Ew. Yuck. Also, just remember, you can't look like me in a public school. No. I went eyebrowless. I went eyebrowless after I left school, or when summer started. So it wasn't that bad, but still. I'm a period clot. But bullying was bad. It's actually really bad. I was told I was poor, and my parents were crackheads. because I dressed with clothes that would last longer than their Shein clothes. Yeah. I was told to find God. More than I can count. And I have a teeth necklace, and people would go up to me and ask, are those real teeth? Do you want them to be, hun? No. 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 Kitties. And so I looked different, and I was a target for them. And so, interesting, I found with specifically the black girls, because since we had a 70% black population, I got to observe a lot. Just cataloging their behaviors, just like every normal person. I've been told I do this because of autism. I am formally diagnosed with that, thank you. But I'm gonna list your rank. White boys and black girls are the worst people to ever grace a middle school. Why are you like that? The white girl and the Hispanic girl, I'm placing them on the same level. Hispanic boys are right here. The black guys actually go right here. And then the gay, autistic, anyone, like the smallest minorities. Okay, so this is how it's ranked. I need to form this better, but so it's now I'm gonna list you the reasons. Because I don't want to be racist. Because I'm not racist. I don't want to be racist. I hate that. Because if you're racist, you're all the other things. You're homophobic, transphobic, ableist, all that stuff. Because you can't hate one group without hating everyone else. You can't go after one minority and say, I'm not going to go after this other one. Because you will. Because you will. And some of my takes may be wrong because 14-year-old trans guy in the South, in the Bible Belt, in the Deep South, in suburbia. So, my takes may be wrong. Please correct me on them. Very open to criticism. Okay. Moving on. Okay. Black girls and white boys. The white boys. They're middle school boys. I didn't have to explain more than that. Plus all the red pill, red rhetoric, the bullying. There was like one cool white guy I knew, and we didn't talk that much. Two cool white guys. And let me tell you, the white guys aren't exactly that attractive. Not that attractive. They're not encouraged to be attractive. And black girls. The black girls that bullied me the most, they've gone out of the most stuff because they simply can. It's a school that serves them, because even though they are systematically oppressed, they are in an environment which does help them. You can be two things at one time. I can be a kitten lover and a kitten hater at one time. Ow. Ow. Okay. Black girls have bullied me the most for whatever reason they wanted. They got out of it the most. They went through my journal, which held my thoughts, and I have anger issues, so journaling was one of my coping mechanisms. It worked well. That's how I kept track of the date. That's how I kept track of how that's my fire! Jesus Christ. But they went through my journal. They said I wanted to stab someone. I didn't. And I've done a whole lot of other things. They harassed me. On my damn back. I hate this one the most. I'm eating your liver. But so... those girls hated me. I hated those girls. That was how it went. Nothing that could have been done for that. Because I stayed out of their way. I stayed out of everyone's way. I stayed quiet for the most part. And they just decided I could be their victim. Because I looked a little different from everyone else. And then the Hispanic guys, we don't have much of a Hispanic population. But let me tell you, they need to fix their pants game. I don't need to see your underwear. And fix your haircut. Why do you all look the same? You're not even saying that to be racist. It's like, why do you all have the same haircut? The same haircut? Do you all go to the same guy? What? It's so confusing. Just the same barber, the same stylist, the same store, the same. Individuality, where did it go for you? And the white girls. It didn't bother me too much. They probably only didn't bully me because I was also white, but gotta pick your battles there, unfortunately. And so they didn't bother me much. But as far as all the white girls I knew, there was like one really pretentious one. Hated her. And ow! So kitties. So she was pretentious. She was like the worst one that I knew. She was popular. You know how that goes. They aren't really popular, but more of everyone hates them. Here's that. So, then who's the Hispanic girls? I might rank them a little lower than the white girls because they were kind of bitches. Not gonna lie. But they didn't bother much anyone else. They did get into fights a lot over stupid stuff, but girls, I'm doing that. Okay, so don't know how to capture his beauty, but shall. Anyways, next, the black guys. They were like the nicest people in the school. Usually they were understanding. They actually kept up with their, they always looked nice, I'm not gonna lie. They had better haircuts, more individuality. They were kind of jackasses, but gotta pick your battles. So, yeah. Now out of that into political. Yeah, mass hysteria. I need to leave. I could list you off all my diagnoses, all my problems, and you just say, oh. But, you know, I'm white. I got time. I'm only 14. I can't do much. The adults can do much, but they don't want to. So, I beg of you adults, do something. But also the adults aren't doing stuff because they will, this is anyone outside America, they will, the cops will shoot non-lethal bullets into their heads, into their abdominal areas. They will shoot with lethal force. They will. Pigs don't like us. Civilians with that aren't billionaires, because I'm gonna say it, I have a lot of money. A lot of money. Why? Because parents are rich, so I have money by proxy. And yeah. But I'm not a billionaire. Society has, the government, not society, the government has turned people against each other. They have made gaps like billionaire and millionaire seem small. They put it in schools of us taking a test like twice a year, like beginning and end, of how much water do you use? It is above average or something. When those tests put the blame on us and not the corporations, not the billionaires, not any of them. It's the government. It's a damned thing. And Jesus, stupid. The cat. This cat. Not Yeshua. This one. He's a little special. He's our special guy. Don't know if that got him in frame or not, but anyways, save me. Please. Ask me nicely.